David, curious what your thoughts are on Blumenthal's commentary there.
Well, it's true that, comparing those companies to Facebook makes them generally look good. So he had to say that right now, given the extraordinary onslaught of criticism that Facebook's receiving for good reason. So, yeah, I think generally these companies, for the most part, are doing a better job than Facebook. Doesn't mean they couldn't do better.
Sophia, when it comes to kids, do you see any of these companies being better than the other, or are they all at a low bar?
I think the bar is quite low for all of them. I mean, we have evidence of the entire industry being so unregulated, so little oversight over what happens in the kind of predatory, surveillance-oriented marketing project that these companies are, that I think we need to look at the longstanding research that we've had for more than a decade in the ways in which YouTube has contributed significantly to right-wing radicalization of people in this country and around the world. The role that Instagram has played in generating feelings of despair and depression among young women and girls. I think that Facebook isn't the only company in the sector that has a tremendous amount of work to do. And I think Congress and many different agencies need to have a much more profound kind of regulatory framework over these companies, given that their reason for existing is, in fact, to create extremist feelings and sentiments among the public. And we see, unfortunately, the consequences, whether it's the January 6th white supremacist kind of insurrection or the anti-Dalit, anti-Muslim, anti-LGBTQ kinds of violence that are growing around the world. All of that is happening on these platforms, not just in Facebook.
Who should be building these products for children, David? Head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, has said, well, kids are on technology, tech platforms, whether we like it or not. Somebody has to do it. What do you make of that argument? And if you believe somebody has to do it, is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it Snap? Is it YouTube?
Well, I mean,
or none of the above.
The fact is they're doing it. I do agree with Sophia that these companies, for the most part, have proceeded heedlessly, not really trying through the entire gestation of their services in every case, really, although Snap might be a little bit of an exception, not to have really thought about how the way they're structured might affect people's emotions and affect people's political and social behavior. They really have focused on page views, on what platform, how the platform would best work to show advertising. I think what's interesting now with all this extraordinary attention on the revelations from Facebook, even though the revelations are all negative, they are coming out of work that Facebook did to try to understand how to get better and what was going wrong, even if they didn't implement those changes. It does raise the bar for those other companies, because in general, the other companies aren't doing nearly as much research, even to find out what they should do.
Sophia, you focus on algorithms. Do you see the algorithms these companies use as being especially problematic, not just for adults, but for children?
Well, absolutely. We know that the algorithms are not just computer code that's encoded to generate the most engagement, which typically is correlated to the most inflammatory, racist, sexist, homophobic vitriol, because that is incredibly profitable. We know that the algorithms are certainly attuned so that they can maximize public engagement and consumer engagement with different kinds of material. But we also know that the human beings, the people who moderate content, are also training the algorithms. We know that there's a symbiotic relationship between what we engage with on these platforms, what moderators allow to stand or take down, and how the kind of machine learning algorithms work to accelerate what they learn from that process.
Sophia, we're anticipating that Facebook might change its name later this week to emphasize this idea, this ambition to move into the metaverse. What do you think about Facebook's ambitions in the metaverse? Is that intriguing or terrifying?
You know, it's a terrible distraction and an opportunity for them to re-narrate the terms. I mean, what we should be anticipating is Facebook trying to offload its problems and consolidate its power under a new company. Obviously, we have the Department of Justice, the Securities Exchange Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, all of these agencies coming after and investigating Facebook. And so we should be watching to see whether they're dumping stock, their shareholders are dumping stock, where they're dumping it from, and how they're reconsolidating under a new company. You know, this strategy was used by Google as well with Alphabet, but I think Google still has the problems that it has. So, you know, these shell businesses that are created to kind of obfuscate the problems I think the public is sophisticated enough to recognize what's happening here.